The room was silent. Not the kind of silence that soothes you, but the kind that presses against your chest, making your own heartbeat sound. Too loud, like a drum you didn't ask to play. She wasn't crying, she wasn't yelling, she wasn't even blinking too much. She just sat there, eyes fixed, and in that gaze, he felt something he had never felt before. Not love, not anger, but an uneasiness he couldn't escape. For years, he had relied on her softness. He had seen her apologize for his mistakes, carry his storms like they were hers to clean up. He had seen her forgive betrayals that should have shattered everything. She had been predictable, gentle, safe, but not this time. This time, she was unreadable, and that terrified him. Carl Jung once wrote, "The most terrifying moment in human psychology is when the empath, the one who is always absorbed, everyone else's chaos, suddenly stops. Because their silence is not emptiness. It's clarity, and clarity is something a manipulator cannot control. Think about it. Society has always cast the empath as the fragile one, the quiet one, the peacemaker, the friend who never says no, the partner who forgives again and again, the sibling who listens when nobody listens back. And while the world praises this role, it secretly depends on it. Because as long as the empath stays soft, everyone else gets to avoid facing their own shadows. But Jung saw something different. He believed empaths weren't weak at all. They were advanced observers of human nature. They feel deeper, yes, but they also see deeper. They notice the pauses in tone, the words that never get spoken, the motives behind the mask. And here's the twist. That sensitivity, once sharpened, doesn't just make them compassionate, it makes them dangerous. This is where the transformation begins, and it never happens overnight. It starts quietly. It starts the day an empath realizes that their giving has become a trap. The day they see that love shouldn't look like carrying someone else's storms, that forgiveness shouldn't mean losing yourself, and that guilt is not the same thing as responsibility. Stage 1, awakening. They see the pattern for what it is, the excuses, the manipulation, the endless cycle of taking. And they whisper to themselves, no more. Stage 2, detachment. This is when the empath learns the hardest skill of all, letting emotions pass through them without owning them. They can sit in a room filled with anger, manipulation, even guilt trips, and none of it sticks anymore. To outsiders, it looks like coldness, but it isn't coldness, it's freedom. Stage 3, precision. Every wound they carried, every betrayal they endured, every gaslight they survived becomes data. They remember the tone, the shift in body language, the way a liar twists words. And now, instead of absorbing, they are analyzing. Like surgeons reading an X-ray, they see fractures in people's stories that others miss. And then comes stage 4, transformation. This is the cold empath. Not cruel, not heartless, just beyond manipulation. They still feel deeply, but they refuse to be controlled by it. They no longer react the way predators expect. And nothing is more unsettling to a manipulator than losing their script. Here's the paradox. The very traits that once made the empath vulnerable are now their armor. Their sensitivity, once mocked, becomes a shield sharper than steel. Their memory, once dismissed as overthinking, becomes evidence. Their intuition, once ridiculed, becomes strategy. And when this shift happens, the roles flip. The predator notices it instantly. They see it in the stillness, in the way the empath no longer apologizes, no longer flinches, no longer rushes to fill. The silence. That silence? That stillness? It's the sound of the game being over. But let's pause here, because this isn't just a story. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt this shift inside yourself? That moment where you stopped absorbing everyone's storms and you finally stood still? Did people tell you that you had changed, that you'd grown colder? Or did you finally realize you had simply grown stronger? And here's another question. What did you lose and what did you gain when you stopped playing the role of the constant? Forgiver? Did you lose friends? Did family grow distant? Did your partner accuse you of being different? Or did you finally see who was truly there for you and who only loved the version of you that kept sacrificing? Because that's the thing about empaths. Their transformation doesn't just unsettle manipulative partners, it unsettles workplaces, families, friendships. The moment they stop being the glue, everyone has to face their own cracks. So, let me ask you directly. If you've ever gone through this awakening, what was your breaking point? Was it a single betrayal that woke you up? Or was it the slow exhaustion of carrying everyone else until you had nothing left for yourself? Comment your story below. Because silence has hidden too many empaths for too long, and maybe your voice is the one someone else needs to hear tonight. And if this resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it. Someone in your life is waiting to understand why their pain isn't weakness, it's transformation. And maybe, just maybe, this video is the mirror they've been needing. This was only the surface. Want more? Hit subscribe and dive into Cypher.